So now to a program we've spoken a lot about the last week plus because of their presence in the national championship and a lot of these moves kind of getting postponed to the last week plus here. And that's Notre Dame going on this 2026 class, and top 5 interior offensive lineman Tyler Merrill has committed to the Fighting Irish. ESPN has Merrill rated as the number 1 player in the state of Pennsylvania, number 6 offensive tackle on ESPN's ratings. But a lot of people have him projecting as an interior guy at the next level. And Notre Dame, we just continue to see them load up with talented, big offensive linemen.
Yeah, look, the Notre Dame getting an elite offensive lineman, that's not a surprise. Class moves up to number 5 nationally, going ahead of Tennessee, ahead of USC. Already got some interior linemen committed, Sullivan, Garvin, Ben Nichols, both from the state of Michigan. But Merrill, I think the size makes him pretty unique at 6'5", 338. I've seen him listed as a tackle, but I think guard is probably the way to go. But man, this is just a giant. And when you pull up the film, shows the Irish over Alabama, Clemson, Penn State. I mean, all the trappings of a big time prospect from Mechanicsburg, Virginia, Harrisburg,
Pennsylvania.
Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg area, hometown of Shane Gillis, one of the best comedians going right now. But this is a guy who you see the size. He's playing tackle, but again, I see him more interior guy. He's just swallowing people. Look at the power and the strike. Feel bad for that kid. You see him here on special teams playing defensive tackle. Not the most explosive pass block you ever see, but you see the pure size, just kind of boop, getting that hand up. So it's the benefit of being, 6'5", 338. But you do see him play some defensive tackle. You see him pull, which I believe right here. You see him, that's just knocking some guy and burying him. But you do see him pull. You see some of the athleticism that allowed him to at least survive a tackle at the high school level. And
look at these games, man. Look at the crowd, man. This is a guy who's playing big time football out there.
Yeah, and really, it's the strike that jumps out. Some of these big guys, they just kind of lean into you. They don't strike, but this guy, boom, just again swallows these guys up. He delivers a punch on top of the nasty finishing demeanor. Really everything you look for in a Notre Dame offensive lineman. You're at a point now in the Notre Dame program where a guy like Coogan, a guy like Rocco Spindler, these guys are starting caliber players at any school in the country, and they're walking out the door because the young talent's so good.
You're not sweating it. It doesn't seem like, really,
because it is the kind of players you're recruiting, you're adding. It's just a pipeline at this point, and I like the size of this guy just because Notre Dame's had really big, good players. That's not really anything new, but this is going to be one of the bigger players I think that Notre Dame's had on the offensive line, and you see him getting out of space, no problem. Really, really talented guy. Excited to see what he brings to the table. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area. So Penn State could have been in this or was in this mix. They could have easily grabbed this guy, but he ends up going to the Fighting Irish, and it's a huge, huge win for Marcus Freeman and the boys.
Tom Lemming, one of the OGs in the recruiting world, who I think we both really respect his opinion. He gets in on the ground level and sees these guys up close all over the country. And he said Notre Dame landed one of the nation's top O-line prospects a couple minutes ago, getting a commitment from Tyler Merrill, 6'5", 330. Versatile. He can play tackle or guard. I had given him a 4-star plus rating. Big time run blocker with agility and balance.
Yeah, look at the quote, kind of old school guy right here. This is his quote about the commitment. He said, he was with Caleb Davis, the director of recruiting. They were talking the entire day. They were at the Notre Dame hockey game, talked to his parents, and he said, hey, I think I want to make the decision to come here. There's no point in stringing these schools along, dancing around, and going on 6 more visits if I know where my heart truly is. So my parents said, if you think this is the right place, you should definitely go here. So no nonsense, no performance. Exactly what you want with your nasty interior alignment of the future. So love the fit, love the player, and it just looks like a Notre Dame offensive lineman.
Yep, expect them to continue keeping it rolling there on the O-line, and look, it should be another top 3 to 5 class in terms of what they bring. And the thing about these guys too is it seems like they all come in ready to go. There isn't as much offensive line is such a position in development, And it just seems like there's these guys, their bodies come in more ready than other schools. Like there's less room that they need to grow one way or another compared to some of these other places. That's what it seems like on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and you mentioned another top 3-5 class. I mean, really, that's how these guys have performed. But in terms of recruiting rankings, you go back year in, year out. Notre Dame's in that 9 to 12 range pretty much every single year of the past few, really 5 years. I'm going back, to 2020. That's where they've been living, that range. Even though NFL wise and college wise are obviously number 2 team in the country this year, they've overperformed. But I think this year, with the momentum of what they did on the field, going to the championship game, breaking through a couple barriers there, Marcus Freeman really entrenched. No questions about him being the man. You could see them get into that Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Texas territory. They're in the top 5. It's very possible. They're in it right now.
So